Hey.
Hello. Welcome to the very, very springy BOOcast 34. We are fresh off a gig, which, well, I'm jumping ahead. Should we talk about what we're going to share on the show today?
Yeah, let's do that. So on tonight's show, we have coming up, we've got news. We've got a lot of news for you tonight. Some stuff. Obviously, it's the week of Superbooth. So we're all excited about that. Yes.
And a bit of new music we've discovered as well.
Yes.
And then we've thrown together a bit of a gig report.
Yeah, we did a gig at the weekend. It was great fun. We were going to show you a little bit of that, and you can have a look.
The Synth of the Month is back!
Yep.
Yeah!
Yes, there's a Synth of the Month happening this evening. Whoopee. And finally, we've got what is this?
Well, this is a music video from the archives, which we made for live backing for a very old gig at the Green Door store. And I thought, well, let's share it with you guys because we played the C
Really?
at this gig. Yeah, I just found it and thought, well, let's share it.
Have I ever seen this before?
You made it. And then I kind of tweaked it a little bit,
Oh,
added a
crikey.
few more bits.
I don't remember any of this. I completely washed my hands of the whole thing. Deny all knowledge. Anyway, all of that's coming up for you tonight on BOOcast number 34, which starts right now. Who wants some news?
This is the news.
You want news, yeah?
I want to follow up on some news we brought to you last month, the month before.
Yeah, we got some news follow-up.
We
went
to GAC and were shocked to discover that it had closed its doors and it was keeping very stum about it all, but it is definitely gone. In fact, it's been purchased by Gear for Music. Thanks to Steve Elbows for posting this first on the Sonic State Discord. Hot place for getting your news. But yeah, so Gear for Music has bought it, but they're not acquiring any part of GAC's trading business or any other assets or liabilities, and it has no current plans to use the GAC trading name.
Yeah, I mean, basically when we say it's been bought by Gear for Music, what we actually mean is they bought all the stock.
Yeah, they say
that's what's happened.
That the original company still legally exists and it remains responsible for its liabilities via its insolvency agency rather than any debt or commitment to customers being taken on by Gear for Music themselves.
Okay.
So they're getting all the benefits, and I think any customers who have existing orders are going to have a difficult time getting their money back.
Yeah. It's a real shame. There's only sort of Hobgoblin and there's another music shop on some other street. They're very small shops there, and they're mostly reselling stuff. Actually, Hobgoblin's great for acoustic stuff. Oh, and there's Adapter Trap in Brighton.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's becoming quite a
percussion.
Brighton-centric show. But Adapter Trap's great for crazy percussion from all around the world. Anyway, there's another piece of news coming up. So it's Superbooth week, which is exciting. Sadly, we're not going, but I will be helping out the Sonic State team remotely from here, from this very chair. But here's the go and check out the website. It's great. There's this interactive map. If you click on the left-hand side and go, where's that start?
Exhibitors or locations?
Locations, yeah.
Back down. Oh, I've ruined it.
You've but it's just really nice and it gives you a sort of vague idea of the size of this place.
Wow.
It's
I'll close that exhibitors and go back.
Yeah, it's in Fez, which is in the former Eastern Berlin. And yeah, it's a whole forest around it. And I've really enjoyed this map because it shows you the train line and there's a little miniature steam railway that goes past and all the little spots.
Zeeboon is where there's performances. There's sort of an open air lake outside the building.
I mean, they're literally the performances going all day at that place, and there's stuff happening all the time. Talks, performances, workshops. A lot of kids around doing their first bits of soldering and messing around with modular stuff. It's a hell of a lot of fun, and if you haven't been, it's a really great place to go. I would thoroughly recommend it. Beautiful. I was just wondering, I was wondering what you think might be coming up at Superbooth this year. So we got a lot of exhibitors happening. What with all the political and financial climates in the world at the moment, there was a worry about maybe there wouldn't be so many people there. And I'm not sure if anyone has actually dropped out. You may have more news on that than I do. But What's on your Super Booth bingo card this year? What do you fancy? What do you think's going to happen? I'd like to see that in the chat. What kind of crazy stuff's going to happen?
What was the most popular sort of device last year? You said there were quite a lot of effects units, weren't there, or something?
I thought it was. I seem to remember there was a lot of different modular companies making different kinds of distortion pedals.
That's right.
I think, or distortion module. So that's
What's
my
gonna be
bingo
the trend
card.
this year?
That's my bingo card. Is basically going to be like about 5 or 6 different companies going to make exactly the same module. Because it's weird. It's like the ideas are just floating in the air, and everyone just sort of has them at the same time. I suppose. I guess that's what's happening.
Yeah,
it's
I think
the
that
Jungian
happens.
theory of the shared consciousness type vibe going on.
Yes.
And something that we forgot from last month, and we're going to cut straight to this right now.
Discotheque have a new EP. Wonderful friends Discotheque, who we interviewed a few BOOcasts ago with Andy Kupachevsky and the wonderful singer Andrea Becker. And it's got 5 tracks and 2 remixes. Really awesome dark synth pop sounds. If you want to check that out,
Yeah, go check it out, and
3.0.
we'll put that in the chat, the link in the chat for you.
That's on
you
our
can
wish list.
Go and listen to that. But yeah, we're going to be seeing Andrew K next week, hopefully. Hello, Andrew. I think you're in the chat. You are in a cold and wet LA. Craziness.
Wow.
Anyway, what have we got here? So we've been checking out some new music. Lots of sort of friends have sort of given us good steers this month.
Yes.
What's the first one, Bridget?
We actually spent quite a lot of time trying to find new music, and you know, when you do that, you end up wading through quite a lot of stuff that doesn't always hit the mark. But everything came up this month, and we watched an amazing session from this band called 6161. I believe they're from Bristol, but they have a 4-piece horn section. I think it's 3 saxophones and a trumpet player. It's conducted by this drummer. I'm not sure what his name is, Matt Stockham Brown, and they have an awesome synth player as well. And the video we saw, he's playing an OB6 and a Moog sub 37.
I think it was a sub fatty actually.
Oh right, okay, yeah, sub fatty. But it's really brilliant. It's on YouTube. They're recording it at a place called Old Forge. But I'm gonna have to buy this album because it's so unpredictable and brilliant. And it's nice to see a resurgence of horns. I think we recommended Saxophone Player last month for Bandcamp Friday. And then the other band we came across, I was thanking Matt Hodson for this, but he says he doesn't know who they are, so it must have been an automatic play on his phone. But it's JRCG. The album is Grim Iconic Sadistic Mantra. They've got a fantastic KEXP session on YouTube. Again, just really out there, wild, improvised sounds. Well, it sounds sort of improvised. Actually, it's really well structured. Ebb and flow, brilliant synthesizer madness. Horns, they've got a saxophonist as well. Can you tell we really want a saxophone? We've been thinking about it for a while, and it's coming out in the music we're listening to. I like the way you described these guys. You said it's like they were all locked in detention together. They're just a random sort of bunch of dudes.
Oh yeah, it's like the Breakfast Club. They all look weirdly like they don't. Yeah, they're all different.
Yeah.
They're from Central Casting. We want the most disparate group of people on stage at once, please.
Yeah.
And there you have them.
So
Very, very nervous-looking drummer guy, and the percussionist guy.
yes.
The drummer doesn't look nervous at all. He looks incredibly stable and grounded. But yeah, lots. I liked it. Really, really good music though. Really beautiful. Yeah,
Just
good stuff.
Interesting, refreshing, great to hear.
Yeah.
So that's all the new music we've got to share with you this month. I recommend buying stuff on Bandcamp Friday, which has just been for this month, but you'll get it for next month. It's always good because the artists get the more profit out of it, which artists need because it's not a lucrative industry.
And big apologies to Andrew K. We meant to mention it last month, but we just didn't get around to it, and it's been quite a busy, fraught, psychically taxing time, and we're likely to forget things at the moment, so apologies for that. But yeah, anyway, we played a gig the other day and it was a lot of fun, and we've done a little sort of gig report for you because basically we did what is our want, and we pointed cameras at everything. Literally shot hours of footage. We've come up with 6 minutes for you. I hope that's enough. Anyway, here we go right now.
Final stages.
Yes, looking great.
Thanks. Just charging up with a little matcha. Woke up feeling quite ill this morning.
I woke up with a sore throat, which has been coming on for a few days. So I've been drinking ginger all day, and I feel much better. Here is the set.
Good idea.
Well, I might close your window for a sec so I can de-dust the...
Oh yeah, they're filthy. The sea is normally there. Instead, we've got this weird white wall of weirdness.
We've made it to the Brunswick in hopes, actually, and we've cleared the fog. It's actually the ocean beyond there.
Yeah, look, you can see it and everything. Amazing.
It's nice. There's a big beer garden here, so people can enjoy the last bit of sun before.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a bit meta, this. It's like filming the filming.
So what were you using on stage?
What do we used to use? We used to have...
Originally we were a power pop band, and 35 years ago, Tim wasn't with us then, but we were a power pop band, and then we had a sabbatical, and then we went electronic about 10 years ago.
20 years ago.
20 years ago. No, it was 20 years
25 years ago.
And we've done 3 albums.
Can you remember the spark pun that led you to become all electric? And were your original acoustic fans disgusted with you?
Not really, because he'd grown up with that music. What happened was he lost a guitarist, and then he started doing gigs with drums, bass and keyboard, so that sounds quite good.
You didn't want to keep guitar and drum kit around it.
Yeah, and then we went in and recorded an album in a studio in Surrey. And I was good enough on the drums to know that I wasn't good enough. And we went in the studio a lot of time. I thought, oh, this is really going to be bad for me. And in those days, the guy had like a digital tape, but he was doing everything off a workstation. So I thought, oh, that's all right. So I actually just made all the drums up on the workstation. And then from that, it got involved. We just had bass and keyboards, and then that just sort of went from there.
Really, really
So that's a
good,
bit of a baptism of fire. Was that your first bit of programming you'd ever done on drums?
Probably,
Probably. Well, I had some drum machines, so we had to write everything in long form, song format.
What was really hard was when we recorded was easy, but when we started to play live, and we played in Brighton, was the first electric gig we did, we played for Hobgoblin.
Oh wow, yeah. Upstairs.
We went upstairs and we booked it for the whole day, the whole afternoon. So we
He's
were,
just
for the
missed out
first
on
time we were
his
plugging
history. It's
in.
forgotten.
Oh no, I know. For this, that was our first electric gig.
That was the very first one.
No, we did a load of things before that.
No, not electric.
Yes, you were playing in Froome for their acoustic plus nights.
Oh yeah, I know, but we still had Neil on guitar, and that was different. This was proper, just synths basically. So, and we hired it, and we did all our old set electronically for the first time, and some of the songs were like power pop songs. They worked really, really well.
Yeah. Well, they should.
That was after
And you
quite a
thought,
big
actually,
gap.
this sounds really, really good with a drum machine, and that's what we.
It took us 4 hours to set the PA up because we were on our own, honestly.
Did you not have a sound person?
No, we were amateurs, wasn't it?
Yeah, literally, it was nervy, and we invited quite a few people to come, and they all turned up.
How long have you guys been playing music together?
35 years. It was Rob and Steve originally, then I joined when I was living in London in 1992. And then we did, Rob left for a while, and we've had various different lineups, but it's always predominantly been Steve, me and Rob really. And Tim joined about 5-6 years ago. We did the last down shimmer.
You really need down.
We've now gone more. We were going quite dark, but now we're electro pop and really sort of just catchy pop.
Yeah. Do you ever feel the urge to go the dark route again?
No,
Never.
No, I like melody.
I feel the urge to go down the dark road again.
Do you?
For the next album, I was thinking of going a bit more. Like almost we were. It's what we were working on the other day.
Yeah, we were actually.
Yeah, well, we're trying 2 new ones here tonight.
Awesome.
So that'll be exciting.
I will look forward to that.
And then you regretted it.
Sorry. Hello.
We're on BOOcast on Monday.
Mr. Doc Russ.
Hey.
Beautiful. Hello.
You're a 7-day-a-week, Pete.
Nice.
You notice that's the colour we used to wear as a band. We used to wear red and black.
Yeah.
A little bit too old for red and black.
Red and black, jump the back.
Nonsense. Red and black, jump the back. Red and yellow, cuddly fella.
Yeah.
That's it. Nice to see the sub 37 there. Beautiful.
So we should have said we do a live stream every month.
I thought you would. Yeah, I've seen it filmed.
Oh, right, cool. Do you mind if we film?
No, you're not going to learn that, so.
That's all right.
We can pixelate your face if you like.
People just love. It's interesting seeing how people set it up because there's so many ways to do it.
Yeah.
It's true.
There we go. Thank you very much to Sweet Machine for asking us to play. And again, for Dark Rust for supporting as well so ably. Great stuff.
Beautiful shot of the merch stand glowing in the dark there. Isn't it inviting? Thank you to everybody who bought merch because it really means a lot to bands going on tour. I'd like to kind of connect that to something actually, because there is a rising cost of touring in music, and Kate Nash kind of made headlines on this recently. She's a super successful artist, and she joined OnlyFans and started posting pictures of her butt to raise money to do a tour, because the profits just aren't there for touring musicians anymore. Basically, recorded music is not making money via streaming, at least, and live music is no longer making up for the loss because costs have risen so much, especially since COVID, and artists are still being paid the same fees, and they're basically having to absorb all these costs. Loads of artists have had to cancel tours. There's Santa Gold posted recently, "I'm so sorry to announce the cancellation of my Holified tour," with all the explanations being, the cost is just too much for the artist to shoulder now. One of the great things that Kate Nash has been putting forward is that idea that we've talked about before, to charge a subsidy for the big gigs. They should be, a £1 out of every ticket to go to the smaller venues to keep them alive. That would help keep things going. But
that sounds like the dreaded socialism. What the hell are you playing at?
Well, we need something to keep these grassroots venues and stuff alive. If you don't want to do that, just go see some live gigs and buy some merch, because quite often artists aren't being paid for the gigs. They're just doing it to get, out there and get heard and build their audience. And then, they can start an OnlyFans account and get people to pay them for pictures of their feet or bum
completely.
or whatever.
But
although there was an interesting point somebody made about OnlyFans. I can't remember what the artist's name was. She's in this article. She says it's actually really good because it's an adults only platform. I can talk about all my political ideas freely without fear of censorship, because there's no advertisers. There's no one, she's beholden to. So she can, go on about whatever she's interested in and not feel like she's beholden to advertisers and has to toe their bottom line in any way. And speaking of communities and the music community and what it means to have people working in these industries, many thanks.
Well, writing and commenting and watching and things. Yeah, we got a nice review in again in what's it, Brighton
Hove News. So thanks to Nick's Linothosaurus. Sorry about my stumbling over that. For a beautiful review of the gig, wonderful pictures from Sarah Louise Bowery in there. You can read up about Dark Rust and Sweet Machine's performance and ours, but people.
Go further up.
People like him doing.
Let's have a look at the pictures.
Oh, right, yeah. People like him doing these reports of live gigs mean so much to the bands and punters as well. It was very useful.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually. I don't know if you're watching, Nick. I'm tempted to sort of collar you, take you out for a drink, and then just start interviewing you. I think it's interesting. He's literally he reviews. It seems like he reviews everything that's ever on in Brighton. In fact, when it's the Great Escape and there's like something like 40 bands playing in one day, he seems to manage to sit. I think he did last year. He reviewed every single gig. It's quite impressive.
It's incredible.
And I want to know what's your secret, man?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
So thank you to Nick for the review, and I'll post the link in the chat if you want to read it yourself.
Yes, splendid.
We had a few answers to the Super Booth thing. Shall I say them now?
Yeah,
give
be lovely.
some more time.
Lovely to chat. Well, I mean, it's just interesting to hear. Keep them coming in. If you've got any thoughts about what might be happening in Super Booth this year, then we'll come to them at the end, just before we say good night to you. I just want to have a little look, and we can keep them fresh in our mind so that we can see whether we were right or whether you've got your crystal ball is completely without flaw or cloudiness. Anyway, so it's Synth of the Month time.
Yay!
Thank you very much for all of your support and encouragement, saying to please do another one. I took heed and I did another one, and here is a one. It is a coming right sort of in a minute now. Hold on. Yes. Hello. The BOOcast Synth of the Month is the Behringer Kobol Expander. In 1978, French company RSF released the Kobol, a two-oscillator monosynth, which was very much seen as an inexpensive alternative to the Minimoog. And indeed, it shares waveforms, filter types, and envelopes with that legendary instrument, though its continuously sweepable oscillator waveforms were pretty unique for the time. After the keyboard came the rack units, Expander 1, which was the synth heart of the Kobol, Expander 2, giving additional processing such as ring mod and sample and hold, a programmer module for storing patches and sequencing, and finally an 8-channel mixer rack. The Expander 1, often referred to as the Kobol Expander, like the ARP 2600, can be played without patching, but internal connections can be broken and reconfigured by the addition of patch leads. Notable users included Jean-Michel Jarre, Vince Clarke, Peter Gabriel, Vangelis, Hans Zimmer, and Depeche Mode. Being a small company, RSF built fewer than 200 Kobol keyboards, around 800 Kobol expanders, 200 Expander 2s, 200 programmers, and only a handful of the mixers. This makes them all quite rare, and therefore rather pricey. Behringer came to the rescue in 2023, releasing their version of the Kobol Expander, and at time of recording, it can be had for under £150. An incredible price for such a fully featured synth. Surely corners have been cut. Let's find out. Well, here it is, the Behringer Kobol expander, and I'll just undress the little baby for a second. So we've only had this for a little while, and I don't really know it very well. And the original Kobol expanders were pretty rare. Of course, they were used by Depeche Mode quite a lot, and there's something nice about the fact that this has re-entered the world. So let's have a look at it. All of the modules inside the Kobol expander from Behringer are analog, apparently. So the LFO is analog. We get a rate of, well, let's just attach it to something. Oscillator 2. Let's bring up the filter. And we adjust the amount of audio modulation of the oscillators with this volume knob, unusually. So here we go. So it goes pretty slow. Up to 100 hertz. There are other ways of increasing the speed of the LFO. We'll come to later, hopefully. So it's one LFO. We get two waveforms. We've got a triangle and square. Let's lower that. And that's unipolar square, so it's easy to tune. There we go. We can also switch it from modulating both oscillators. So we're modulating oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. But we can switch it so that it's only modulating oscillator 2. Pretty useful. Especially with all the other stuff going on, which we're going to come to, obviously. There's a voltage processor, which we'll come to. This is very similar to the thing that you get on the ARP 2600. It can process control voltage and audio. Yes, next. So, okay, the oscillators are really interesting because although it was said that this is the sort of French cut-rent version of the Mini Moog, it does have a couple of interesting features. So this is the first of them. The oscillators are continuously sweepable through the waveform. So we start with a triangle, bring it up a bit, and we can, go through to shark tooth. Now there's a Mini Moog waveform if ever you saw one or heard one. And it's nice to be able to control that. And in fact, yeah. And sweeping through to the saw. What's that? Sort of half. I can't remember what that waveform might be called, and I can't actually see it. You know, it's really annoying. I can't see over the knobs. It's that way, sort of saw square thing. Square pulse, narrow pulse, and then you click onto the end, and we've got pulse width modulation coming from the single LFO. Let's just switch it back to triangle. So there we go. We've got that kind of vibe going on. It's nice. And so we've got two identical oscillators. Let's bring up the other one. Oscillator 2 has very wide frequency. They both go into low frequency territory also, which is great because we can use oscillator 2 to modulate oscillator 1, and we can use oscillator 1 to modulate oscillator 2 if we like, but we've got a fine tune on oscillator 2, which is always appreciated, and we can similarly sweep these through. Let's put an ARP on. So those are the oscillators. According to Wagyu and via Sonic State review with Nick Batt, these are not based on the chips. These are actually discrete oscillators. Quite a lot of this is actually discrete components, and they've really tried to emulate properly the behavior of this oscillator with the sweepable waveforms. Yeah, those are the oscillators. We've also got sync, with VCO2 being synced to VCO1. Sounds good. Right, onto the filter. I'll just put a little arpeggio thing here. So the filter is a 24 dB 4-pole filter. It's not a ladder filter. And it sounds pretty great, actually. Let's bring up the resonance. Losing the low frequencies, as you'd expect with a 24 dB type filter. No compensation here. Okay, so that's it. Resonance coming through. We can also control the resonant frequency with keyboard control, which goes to 1. Let's just turn the oscillators off. Wow, that was easy. In real time, that's how long it took me to tune the filter to. Let's bring in an oscillator. Wow. That was really quick and easy. So something that the original Kobols had in their favour was that the oscillators were reported to be extremely stable. Unlike some Minimoog oscillators, they basically were bang on in tune. And that, from what I've read, is what is recreated here very accurately, and also the calibration of all these things. So that the fact that I just managed to tune the filter so quickly, even though I'm going for 1 volt per octave there in the middle, it's pretty impressive how stable this thing is. We can also go to 2 volts per octave, which is obviously way beyond an octave. Let's just play that. Tune it down. Nice. Okay, that's the filter. We've got this keyboard control. We've also got ADS control. So we have 2 ADS envelopes here. The ADS envelopes are very moogy. Let's bring up the oscillators again. So first we have an ADS envelope for the VCA. And yeah, the decay portion. And sustain level. So attack time, decay time, sustain level. If we flick this switch here, it gives us some release time, which is the decay portion. Exactly the same as the Minimoog works. And the other envelope generator is hardwired to the filter, which we control from this knob here, so we can extremely snappy envelopes, really tight. Again, nicely a pleasing calibration here. It goes from really tight, lots of control, and we can got quite a long one there as well. So we can also have negative control. Let's bring that up. That's nice. Let's have some effects. Yeah. Very pleasing. Doesn't it have a vibe? I mean, it feels like a simple synth, but it's got a really pleasing, already, without patching anything up, pleasing quality. I guess we've been listening to this synth a lot on a lot of songs that we've loved over the years. We just never got to play it before, or I didn't, and maybe you did. Who knows? I mean, in fact, has anyone out there got both? Does it compare? Does it? I don't know. I have no idea. This is literally just me. Again, it's one of those synth of the months where I'm just acting like I've just walked into a synth shop and I'm having a play with it. So that's what we're doing. So there you go. So it's a good, solid, simple basis for a synth. Now you can see here that we've only got one LFO. There's no sample and hold. There's no ring mod. There's all kinds of things we don't have. Probably would have been advisable at the time to buy the Kobol, the Expander 2, which would give you extra modulation possibilities. But this is the thing about the Kobol Expander 1, as it was. The striking part of this synth is that literally every control, I mean, I think it's literally every single one, is voltage controllable. And this affords us with so many possibilities of what to do. We can take oscillator 2 frequency, take the input into there, and take the ADS2 out. Put it onto sync. That's really, my God. That's really, let's go. Sounds old, I like it. The signal coming out from the envelope is a little bit hot, so we can make use of the voltage processor. So we can come in here and take the output from there and plug that into the frequency control. Now this gives us control over the amount of gain that control voltage is having. So we can go from 0 up to 2, and we can also go from 0 up to 2 on the second input 2, which I think sort of multiplies things by 4, although they don't quite make it as far as that according to the manual, but close. So let's see. Yeah, you can hear that now. So we're going way beyond how much you'd want, but whoa, too low. Fun there. So yeah, that's obvious. But the fact that we can modulate just about everything here is quite sort of traumatizing a little bit. Most excitingly for me is that we've got modulatable envelope stages, so we can take the decay time. Let's take a signal out. Well, let's take the single LFO and we'll take it out from here. No. Yes. Here. So if I give us some, let's just do the, so now the decay portion is being modulated. Which I rather like. But we can do something else here. So let's take the LFO signal, put it into the voltage processor. We can now take the output from the voltage processor and put it into the decay, which gives us level. Gives us an amount that we can select how much that's affecting it now. Quite easy to develop these rhythmic little things here. The voltage processor also has this rev out, which gives you the reverse signal from that one. So we can take that and let's plug it into takt time. that. So we're getting sort of flipping backwards and forwards of the envelopes here. It would actually be really nice to make drum sounds on this, I think. Let's have a little go. So apparently the resonance of the original went down to something like 30 hertz, and they've extended it on the Behringer when it goes down even lower. So it goes. My goodness, the filter goes really low. That's pretty impressive. The resonance coming back at that low frequency it outperforms the Minimoog in terms of, like, if you wanted to have like massive kick drums, for example. Turn that off. Excellent. Yeah, rather impressive. So there's a whole bunch of other things. It's just inviting you. Something that would be nice is some external voltage control. Well, I'm not going to do that this time. I just want to see what we can get out of just this module on its own. So yeah, we've got noise generator, which goes white to pink. It's a slightly different design to the original. The original used a chip which apparently had 17 stages and was a bit sort of, you could hear the looping of it. And this one's a bit more noisy. Take the noise generator noise out and we can put it into the input again. We can take our LFO out and we can put it into input 2. So we can mix the two signals. So we can take the output and modulate the frequency of VCO2. So let's hear that. Got really nice bit of noisy modulation there. Take a little bit less. Oh, that's nice. These level knobs, I don't think are modulatable. Haha! Found a limitation, because that'd be good too. Maybe it is, I don't know. Can't tell at the moment, we're just in the music shop, remember. So yeah, loads of modulation possibilities here. Another thing that we can modulate is the waveform sweeping. So we can take the LFO out from that. And as we scroll through, it's taking a different section. Slow that down. And just turn that off and so now we've got pulse width modulation coming directly from the LFO, and the LFO sweeping the waveform of oscillator 2, giving us quite a pleasing Doctor Who-y type sound. Put that into sync. So again, more rhythmic possibilities coming through here. Let's put a little sequence in here and have a little play for a second. So the LFO goes up to 100 hertz. We can speed it up a little bit by taking the output from here and plugging it into the LFO rate. This is a control voltage input, not a clock input. Hello. It's really slow. Reverse out. It might help if the LFO was doing something. There we go. That's faster. Pleasing. Let's see if we can take a control voltage output from the key step and control the frequency of the LFO with that. Let's give the amount. It goes faster low down. That's okay. Let's go in and take the reverse out. That's really strange. It sort of goes, the higher the control voltage, the slower the LFO goes, which is... Tell you what, let's take the LFO out and plug it into the VCF audio in. That's not doing anything. Why is that? Okay, it doesn't go very high. That's the LFO. Okay, so as an audio source, it's quite limited. But there you go, that's... if you wanted them. 3 oscillator sources. It's very very hard to control. Let's plug that into the VCF frequency input. I say that is pleasing. Let's just turn that up a bit. So there we go, we've got the pitch of the LFO being controlled by the control voltage output of the key step. The control voltage of the key step's going through the inversion unit on the voltage processor, and we're taking the LFO out and just modulating the VCF with it. Making this... That's a great sound. Tuning that oscillator to the pitch of the LFO, which is modulating the filter. Loads of just fat, juicy, clangorous madness. It's just... Change the LFO to square wave. It's great. Also, this modulation stuff's lovely. I haven't actually done enough. Or have I done enough? Have I done too much? Let's see. I'm going to take the output from here and plug it into the waveform molding. There's so much going on now. I can't actually see what I've just done. Okay, so the realms of subtlety have been lost to me for a second. Let's have a last little play with this thing. So, as I say, I'm just in the shop. I'm a little bit boggled. There's so much that could be done here, and I'm at control voltage 1 volt. I mean, you can take signals from outside and put them in. You can take signals from inside and push them out. All the envelopes are externally sendable. All the oscillators are externally sendable. The LFO is. It leaves you wanting more modulation sources, which is a good thing, right? Anyway, let's leave it for the moment. I like this, and this is my first ever, second play on a Behringer synth, and I think they've done a good job. It's shall we say, a convincing replica of something I've never played before, although I've almost certainly heard it a million times before, and it's given me that vibe. Too. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Yes, thank you. What's that? Yes.
Andrew Brooks has to know, did you eventually buy it?
In a roundabout way, yes.
Yes.
And I won't go into too much detail.
It's
but
too good value to pass up. It's amazing.
Well, I saw it for sale, I can't remember where. God, it might have been Gear for Music, all the irony, for like £135. So Wagyu, you did that thing with Sonic Stack. You basically told Nick about the fact that the oscillators are discrete components. It's not the packet chips, the various types that I have. I looked into it, and apparently even the envelopes, the filter, and everything is kind of discrete components. It looks like they've really gone out of their way to try and do a really good job of emulating this thing, particularly the oscillators, which were, they're really good. I've never touched an original Kobol Rack 1, Expander 1 in real life, but as I said in the video, I've heard it. A Broken Frame, Depeche Mode, which is rather amusingly in the Behringer's own promo video, a Broken Flame they call it. Very good. Definitely can hear the vibe of that thing there. And also, I read an interview with Mute Records, Daniel Miller basically said, we're using the PPG Wave 2 and the Kobol Expander mainly for a Broken Frame. And he said, and the envelopes in the Kobol Expander were the fastest he'd ever heard.
Amazing.
So that's Daniel Miller telling you that. So you should bloody well listen.
Wagyu says that it was Rob Keeble of AM Synths who analysed the circuits, so he should get the credit. He just did a post about it.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that may have been the interview I read as well. And it's they've all been. Yeah, it's the whole thing is pretty legit. I mean, really it is. And I think that's borne out in the way it sounds. I wasn't expecting very much, but when I saw Nick's review of it, I went, hello, this is interesting. And I really liked it. It's not. It's a 3340. I'm gonna Google it. I always forget the name of these chips.
Chip.
But so Nick assumed it was going to be a 3340 chip doing the oscillators, but no, it's discrete components, just like the Roland SH1. It's all about matched components and everything, and building it properly.
Yeah, Andrew
Unbelievable. 135 quid.
It
Anyway,
is. Andrew Brooks again says the Behringer Pro one compares really well with the original Pro one too.
Right.
Wagyu was really hoping that they do a Poly Kobol 2 because they're super rare. You know, he's a guy who's been searching for one for 20 years.
Well, I mean,
still hasn't found one.
How many of those were actually built? Because I know 800 of the expander ones were built. And it was a ridiculously small number of the first Kobol, the mono Kobol. But the Pro 1 and the Behringer Pro 1, they're both using the Curtis chips, aren't they?
I don't know.
I think. Somebody tell me I'm wrong.
Tell us in the chat.
My only disappointment was yeah. And okay, yeah. So the pots are wobbly. It's fair to say. It's. I'm just looking at you.
Yeah, Wagyu's mentioned the plastic shafted pots. Good band name.
Say plastic shafted pots.
Shafted pots.
Plastic shafted pots.
Yeah. Says he's had no trouble with them, even though they're not metal.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you just have to be a bit careful occasionally. But I mean, I mean, there's something. I mean, you got a problem. Maybe we should do some IKEA hacking. We can go back and do Behringer hacking.
Yeah.
We can go in and build
replace the
hardware
shafts
that needs to go around the stuff. Yeah. Replace the shaft.
Yeah. That's probably quite tricky.
I think that's the show title right there.
Peter Coit says being able to control ADSR is one of the main advantages of modular. So this is great to have.
Yes, and this is why I'm so pleased to see it not in a modular system. Because I've had this thing. It's like, those modulatable ADSR stages are like so exciting and so. Oh, I don't know why more synths don't do them. The thing is also with the Kobol, you can modulate the resonance level as well as the cutoff level. So you can do all kinds of things. When you think about it, if you've got enough modulatable or sequenceable CV inputs into that thing, you could. I mean, it's like. Yeah, you could do a lot.
Andrew Brooks confirms that, yes, the Pro 1 uses the original Curtis chips, but the Bro 1 uses Behringer's own.
Yeah. I mean, how do those chips compare? I mean, I'm assuming they're probably direct clones, are they not? I mean, and you said the Pro 1 and the Bro 1.
I like that, Bro 1. Could make a polysynth from several put together.
I have no idea if it does.
At that price, it's almost worth experimenting with.
Well, yeah, I mean, how many voices was the original Poly Kobol? Was it 6 or 8 or
question.
What? And it didn't have as much sort of modulatable flexibility as the expander, did it? So you wouldn't really expect that on a polysynth, would you? Would you?
Yeah, Wagyu says, I think all their monos support 16-unit polychain, but knobs aren't under digital control, so would need to match the panels for polysynth duties.
Okay.
Well, you guys are all over it.
Yeah, you know
there
this.
should be a company here being formed developing these products. I just liked AD Vision was talking about running out of space for synths, and Wagyu recommended the APC AR201 19-inch wall rack for mounting synths to. The front of the synths can be just 25 centimeters from the wall, and they can hold 390 kilos of synth. And I just thought that is really handy to know, because we are looking at moving the studio to possibly a smaller space. We might not have as much room, and knowing we need something safe to put everything on that's not just going to fall over and will take up minimal room. So I love that thing about microphones. Like, you can have really expensive microphones, then you should pay for an expensive mic stand. I
mean, no, you have to. You absolutely have to.
You don't want that falling over.
I mean, we've had stories. I mean, there's the famous story of Gaz's massively expensive mic just falling over and crashing into the floor behind him during a Sonic Talk. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Didn't you not see that?
No, I don't think I did.
Wow. Yeah. We had a. Can we talk about this?
I don't know.
We had a chat with our friend. So we've had the long bank holiday weekend here.
Yeah.
And we spoke to our friend who runs Midnight Salad.
Oh, I mean, this is...
Yeah, no, we can't really talk about it. But we're
thinking of putting something on.
There's a night that may happen. There's a beautiful, exciting, glorious new venue in Brighton called Alphabet. And it used to be I mean, since I've been there, it's had about 18 different names.
We did play there when it was the Rialto, one of our early gigs.
It was nice as the Rialto too.
Yeah,
but now it's
20s
Alphabet. It's got
vibe.
an extremely good bar with a massively expensive
should bring up their
audiophile
website.
stereo in the bar. And the whole room has been sonically built. I mean, it's all wood, but it's like, it's acoustic. I mean, it's literally, we've never done anything like this before. And I don't know if it's actually going to pull itself off. But did I say pull itself off?
You did. That's wrong. Cut to my screen so people can look at something else.
No, what do you mean? Okay, I'll do it.
This is a little insight into the venue, but it is gorgeous inside. Look at that. And the bar, the guy who built the bar and is running it, managing it, he was a barman for ages. He used his own collection of spirits to start it, and there's all sorts of rare spirits, and they make incredible cocktails. There should be a picture of
That's the audiophile valve amp.
I was looking for a picture of the hi-fi, but it might only be
I think
there.
you just did.
I mean, that's just the valves. It's like really behind the curtain, isn't it? But yeah, I've only just started putting on gigs and stuff. And it's amazing. And basically, we want to play there, and we thought, let's just make something happen.
Well, no, we spoke to our friend, and we just spoke yesterday at a street party in Brighton, which was really
It's
nice.
the start of the Fringe. Our gig was the first night of Brighton Fringe Festival.
Yeah.
And we went and celebrated the Fringe on Saturday.
We did. We celebrated the Fringe, and I remember the last time. I think I told it. I told this story already the night, but I mean, it's true. So I'll tell it again. The last time I actually performed in the Brighton Fringe proper, as far as I remember, I was playing a slightly sexually lascivious jester in a performance called Journey to the Red Bed. And my job was to sort of basically crawl on all fours across the dinner table. The invited guests were eating. And I would take food out of their mouths and put it in mine and rub myself with chocolate mousse and have a really dirty, strange time. I was a lot younger. I was, it was a kind of
silly thing you do when you were younger.
And it was different in the 90s. You could do things like that. You can probably still do things like that, but not when you're my age. But
exciting.
It was exciting, and that was the first time I've done a Brighton Fringe experience. And there we go.
And that was it until Friday?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think
cool.
I might have done a couple of other things that weren't in the Fringe, but
Oh, yeah.
That was the last thing.
So that's just a slight taste of the variety you can get at the Fringe from,
Taste.
lascivious men on tables,
Listen,
sharing your food.
An old man remembering his misspent and dirty, slightly glandy youth.
It was really pleasant in Brighton,
Sorry to say
though.
glandy.
I do. Gets a bit hectic with all the expanded crowds in town, but it was really peaceful. You just got to know the right bits to go to, I think.
The right
we had
bits
a nice,
to go to. Sorry,
nice
I'm
time.
right in there now.
Yeah, stop. Okay, so to change subject completely.
Whoa, what?
I saw,
Wait,
I
what?
saw
Scratch ending.
Peter Coit said in the chat to Ian Cole, "I'm still annoyed about that gig you went to. You wouldn't see Boo miming live." And I thought, yeah, of course you wouldn't. But Ian J. Cole,
You might.
I went to his channel. He's done this video which we're going to have to watch. I'm afraid we haven't seen it.
Yeah, Ian. Well, so what is this about? Let's
William
have a look.
Basinski pretending to perform.
Oh,
Don't
God.
fall for this pretense. It is not a live show. We're going to watch that, Ian. Ian's in the chat, everybody. He makes fantastic videos and talks about art and music on his YouTube channel, Ian J. Cole. But
He's a regular at the Edinburgh Festival doing brilliant reviews and with your awards.
He called
festival.
to mind a brilliant video we watched yesterday. We follow the amazing YouTube music educator and jazz musician himself, Adam Neely.
And precocious young man.
Yes, he's dropped. Dropped. I hate that phrase. But
Sure,
he's,
you said dropped.
I know he's dropped. He's caught. He's dangled out a new video.
Don't say dangled.
Sorry.
I don't believe how this is going.
like
God,
a
this
carrot.
is out of control. Look, Innuendo Central tonight.
Oh,
This
God.
it's gone
I'm
out of
so
control.
sorry. But he's brought out a wonderful new video, and it is a deep one, 52 minutes long, about the ethics of fake guitar.
Aha.
It's so interesting because he's talking about the people who do sort of TikTok videos where they've sped up the playing of the guitar to be really, really fast, and they're not actually playing. And there's this competition to produce these things, and people are calling them out on YouTube very angrily. You know, like these 18-year-old kids, often the case, going, "How dare he? He's a disgrace to the industry," and it's just outrageous. He's setting these poor standards for other children, and what are the children going to do when they think people can play this fast?
Somebody please think of the children.
It's not physically possible, and yeah, it's not a great practice, but he goes into it so deeply. But I just wanted to share this spectrum of permissibility which he came up with, which is basically that each genre of music has its own moral code, and what we're looking at here is the spectrum of permissibility for rock music.
So can I just pause you there, because this actually, we foreshadowed this.
We did.
With our How We Play Live video, when we talked about why in certain circumstances cheating, in inverted commas, is completely acceptable because it's part of the artistic oeuvre of that particular genre of music or the artistic field in which you're playing. For example, it's like music concrete uses tape.
Electronic music uses samples.
Sometimes. Yes. But if you're... And that's a completely acceptable thing. But if you were watching at the beginning of the show, is like what you wouldn't expect to watch a pianist. I was really careful how I pronounced that.
Well done.
Thank you.
Nailed it.
Playing. But what you were hearing was a CD and they were just miming. That wouldn't be acceptable. Video. Yeah, of course it is. I was just saying that's... So I'm going back to
Perfect
Adam
example.
Neely. Just like, I wonder if Adam Neely saw us. He's done a better job than we did.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good. The spectrum of permissibility. We even had a spectrum.
We did.
We had a spectrum of playing live.
I should bring it. I should have brought it up during the Synth of the Month.
It's the same. Adam Neely has ripped us off.
No, I think he's made the same observations that we have, which are there to see. But I love that it is related to genre. So here in rock music, permissible EQ, compressors, of course, reverb, distortion, delay, basic effects to enhance the sound. That's fine. Less acceptable is pitch correction.
Do you know what? It's interesting to see delay. It's quite a long way along there after distortion. And I always remember my friend Andrew, I'm Being Good, always said, I hate delay. And I was realizing see, that spectrum of permissibility.
He's a noise.
And I see comping is probably... I ought to go and ask him.
Yeah.
How do you feel about comping, actually?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, carry on.
We can make our genre chart for noise bands. And then obviously at the far end, misleading people with fake DI video playthroughs. But he's done another one on hip hop, which has a totally different spectrum.
All right, I'll just move us up there.
So here, sampling's totally permissible, but you wouldn't quote another rapper because it's all about your story and your rhymes.
Quoting other rappers,
your lived experience.
Slightly acceptable. You might be doing it,
but maybe only to comment on it, and you certainly would have to attribute it. You wouldn't rip it off as your own. And then covering songs, not really permissible, and having a ghostwriter is like the cardinal sin. Why would you do that? Because the whole thing about rap music is it's your story. You can't be pretending to be somebody else or just using someone else's story. Anyway, I really recommend watching this video because it's a wonderful examination of what the moral codes are that are associated with each of these genres of music.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
What we find acceptable and what we don't. And he actually interviews his partner, who's a brilliant professor of philosophy, especially Plato, and she talks about Platonic philosophy and how it relates and how we use shame to cast people out when they don't adhere to the moral codes that we all agree upon. Very fascinating stuff.
Seriously, if you don't know Adam Neely, and I'm sure you all do, but if you don't, go and check it out and literally watch that most recent video, and then go and watch the Behringer Kobol rant video. It's that simple, and it's like, try putting that into words. You might need a couple of days to work out how to express why something is wrong and something else is right. But in your guts and your heart, you sort of know it straight away, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I think, actually, I was talking to another musician we met on Saturday, who we were talking about AI, because I've had to use AI for work lately, and we both agreed, he's a coder and he's had to use it as well, I think, and we agreed that definitely in my experience with animation, if you show someone an animation that is cheaply produced, they go, oh, that's not very good. If you show something that's had a lot of man hours and hard work and hand work gone into it, They go, wow, that's amazing. And it seems very obvious, but the people who are watching are not technically minded. They don't know why it's better, but basically it's better because of the heart and soul that went into it.
Do you know, I just had an awful thought.
But before you share that, in AI, there can never be any thought behind the process that is creating it. So it will always be hollow. It might look kind of sparkly and shiny at first glance, but I think people are going to become quite attuned to it. I hope.
The thing about a large language
days.
model and the AI, and basically it's all about large language or image, whatever it is, however it works. There is no self-reflection inside that thing, and it's not possible because the whole idea of AI is completely bogus. It's just taking
a mimicry machine,
massive amount of data and then pulling from it. That is not the same as being intelligent. And believe me, I know people that are a massive amount of data and they're just pulling from it. They're not much fun. But
true.
What was I going to say? Yeah, the thing that really got me about what you just said was we watched a documentary, or actually it was Corridor Crew again. They interviewed Nick Park of Aardman. So they were talking about Wallace and Gromit and all that. And they do use some AI now, and they use lots of other technology.
They use a bit of 3D.
And not it. They use 3D.
Yeah.
Yes, they do that. But in some of the 3D stuff, they have intentionally put fingerprints into the 3D models to make them appear like they've understood quite correctly that the idea of the human hand on these things is supremely important, because that's one of the things that makes you go, I have a connection with this. I love it. I love what it's doing.
From the moment
but they faked it now. They faked it.
Yes.
They put thumbprints on a 3D thing.
And I've just seen a new thing for Blender which automates this, like a plugin that you can use. It's really good.
I mean, we're doomed, right? As a human race.
But it's only one component. It's not a you can't just whack that on and go,
I can
there's your film. You have to have a good story. You have to have life in your animation. You have to have so many elements of humanity in there.
Okay, of course.
You can't just slap it on a bit of stock and go, wow, that's beautiful. No, it doesn't work. I don't think it works like that. I hope it doesn't.
Okay.
It requires a certain amount of visual literacy in theory, but I do think that as human beings, we are preconditioned to pick up on these subtle cues throughout our whole experience of living in reality. We can tell when things are too smooth and too otherworldly or, blobby and created out of noise like AI stuff can be.
Yeah.
Anyway. If you want more bands who do non-miming and more of the good stuff,
we do cheat. We cheat a bit.
Well, we have some backing.
But everything you see us do, we're actually, if we look like we're doing it, we're doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't do something.
I think you can tell when you see us because there's so many. We actually had quite a few catastrophic mistakes during this gig. Halfway through, my wireless mic stopped working. So the sound guy had to run down and connect an XLR, which was fine, but it changed the levels, so the vocal levels was different, and you had to kind of remix it. And then
had to fix that
my in-ear monitors started going over my voice, so I could only hear it.
Sounded like interference.
I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to take these out and chuck them to the side and go with the room sound. And luckily, the room sound was so good at the Brunswick that I could hear everything, so it was fine. But we're just going, oh, God, we're going to have to look at our whole live rig again. And
we got to fix everything.
Deal with unreliable
it's a shame because I think we told you about our super cheap live IEM system.
We were so proud.
And now we might have to bin it because it just doesn't work in every situation. And you know how it is. If it fails once, it's like,
you can't trust it.
How can I trust it now?
It worked fine in sound check. It's like, what happens?
But beautifully, a lot of our friends, thank you if you're out there who came to see the show, said it just shows that it's real.
Yes, that could only happen that one time. That's a single unique event that they all got to be a part of when everything went wrong. But yeah, as I was saying, you can tell that it's live because stuff goes wrong and you can hear you can just hear all the little variations. In fact, Nick, who did the review, he's seen us so many times. He does mention how we change it up a little bit on each gig. There's different arrangements, different instrumentation, and of course the playing as well.
We do our best. I mean, just to stop ourselves from becoming bored, and also just want to be more excited. And you know what? We've done, I think, I can't remember how many songs we've actually written and recorded. But we've only played.
Folder.
Yeah,
list, isn't there?
But I think we've only ever really played about maybe 10-15% of them. So there's a whole bunch. Are you going there?
I think I've got the list.
Bridget's going there.
I think that's like 70
Are you sure you're
songs?
going there?
No, it's okay. I was
Are we
just gonna
doing
check.
this? Okay. Well, I'm
You
not
keep
cut.
talking. No, don't show the screen. That's my Google Drive. You've shown my Google Drive. Goodness. I'll find it while you're talking.
Are you sure I'm going to be able to continue talking? Everyone's going to take a screenshot of that, and that'll be that.
Yeah. Here we go. Song
list. Right, so cut to that. Okay,
so
there you go.
How many have we got here? 88. Some of those are instrumental.
88 miles an hour.
88.
That's a lot of songs.
That doesn't include the EPs either. Speaking of which,
oh crikey!
If you
segue,
if you subscribe to us on Bandcamp, you can support us making videos like Synth of the Month and our music. And in return, you get all sorts of stuff: stems, exclusive demos, and unreleased EPs, of which we have
lots.
15 at
I
least.
may even have another one for you guys soon.
These are all the private releases that we have for you. Oh, there's a really good one, Sick Notes, which is tracks that didn't make the last album, Compulsory Games.
And believe me, they very nearly did make the last album. We just,
They might. You never know. Some of the tracks here might turn up on the next album. You also get exclusive merch, 10% discount off all merch, and the satisfaction of knowing you're supporting us in a sustainable way. But you get all our new releases as well. As soon as they come out, you can download them. So it's only like £3 a month or something like that. And if you can't afford that, just like the video, subscribe on YouTube, because that all helps us as well. Subscribe to our mailing list. That's free. We'll let you know about new gigs. Speaking of which,
donate.
Don't put your hands out. We're not begging. But it's much appreciated.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what I was going to say. So we've got that. Let me just pause for a second. So I mean, I had it was Gary I was talking to on our Discord. You must join our Discord. It's free. Yes. Join the Discord. Do the Discord. Do the Discord.
And you can share events that you're hosting or going to, your EMOMs.
Everything. And also remixes and whatever. Are we going back there?
Yeah.
What's this?
This is our Discord.
Why is your Discord that way round? It's normally black on white.
Oh.
Or white on black.
I changed it for some reason.
Weird. Anyway, so on the Discord, I was talking about possibly, I'll just stick that back on, possibly we have a very large folder of stems that have been available for a very, very long time now. And I'm very close to, and I think I may do it. It will depend on what you say in the chat. I'm going to bin them all. I'm going to delete them all and replace it with all of the stems from Compulsory Games, with a view to asking you guys and ladies to do remixes at your leisure, no pressure whatsoever, of the last album. And then we're going to release it. We're going to see what we've got and master it and get it released.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
I think that would be fun. It'd be nice to get you all out there. I'm going to ask all of our friends that have remixed us before to join us as well. So I'm going to ask, see if Finley Shakespeare would be interested in it.
Well, everybody who joined us on Snared, for sure.
Yeah, everyone on Snared.
Our other remix album available on Bandcamp. Pay what you want.
Absolutely. And so it's going to be a digital thing. And I think the most recent album is the one that I believe we're both the most happy with.
It sounds so good.
I mean, I feel pleased with it as well, just lyrically and everything. It makes me happy. It'd be really interesting to see what you guys have to say. So sorry, we were going on to that.
No. Well, yeah, related to this is another benefit of being a booster. That's what we call you guys who support us on a regular basis. Is that after 6 months you will be awarded the coveted Boo Peter badge. And we have quite a few special members who have been awarded this badge, and a new one this month. So we'd just like to take a moment out of our BOOcast to honour those people and their great contribution to BOOcast and, what we do. Thank you.
Yes, we salute you. Wow, you really have slowed it down. That's brilliant.
Andrew Kubachevsky.
Stefan Last.
Steve Turnbull.
Ian J. Cole.
James Newcomb.
Ian J. The Ranter Cole. James Newcomb. Craig Williams.
Cole Mouchline.
Adam Embry.
Warren Harrison.
Sean Parsons.
Jeff Terranova.
Jeff Potter.
Andrew Van.
Ian Heath.
Paul Harkness.
Stuart Scheffner.
Tom Grimshaw.
Pascal Arbery.
Technomatic.
David Heel.
Andrew Walford.
You've gone all sultry. Nick Hay.
Gary Goldfinch.
Ed Francie.
Andrew Mayo.
Rob Sloan.
Wagyu.
Ian Pass.
Simon Goodwin.
Neil Watt.
Andrew Loveland.
Jerome Gorman.
Michael Carker.
No Labels Plus.
Andy Vonal.
Andy McCraith.
And Adrian White.
Reynold Van Grunen.
Rich Kuehl.
Evan D.B. Gray.
Sean Parsons. We've got to
Julian
hurry up.
Edge.
Zach Blur.
Christopher Miller.
Izzy Monkey.
Phil Dunbar.
Ton Impex.
Stephen Webb.
Christopher Mitchell.
Peter Dalla.
And Jeffrey Collins. Thank you.
Thank you very much, all of you. And joining us,
Gary and
Paula.
Aylward. Thank you.
You guys have been to literally, I mean, it feels like you've been to literally every single gig
They
we've
were there
ever
on
done.
Friday, and you said
They
that
were there
the
on
first
Friday.
time they saw us was in Lewis with Vile Electrodes.
Which was our first proper
I think that
gig.
was our first proper gig that I sang at.
And that was in 20. that I sang
That
at.
I sang at. Well, I didn't sing at the first gig. We
But
was
that was
instrumental.
was that 2012 or something? 2011?
Yeah. So thank you, Gary and Paula, for being there all this time. Of course, you already have Boo Peter badges because you are true champions of Boo, but we'll send you 2 more if you like them. We really need to make these gold badges for Supreme boosters that have been with us since the beginning.
I think we've got enough on our plate
We
at the
do.
moment, but we will
One
sort
day.
out gold badges. And also, we probably end up having agreements with various, like, the Natural History Museum.
Yes, it would be
in
nice if
London.
the boosters had another benefit apart from the 15 EPs and all the amazing stuff you get on Bandcamp.
No, actually, I hear what you're saying. You don't deserve anything else.
No, that's not what I was saying.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I'm gonna, there's a possible other EP which we're gonna add there. Anyway, look, join us. It really helps us. It's really in the long dark days of winter, which can happen any time of the year. It's something that really makes us happy and keeps us going, and just that connection with you is really special.
Now, regarding the
Thank you.
Super Booth predictions, I'm going to log all of these and I'm going to share them on the next show, and we'll see who was right and who wins the Super Booth prediction, because I've written some down, but there may be more in the chat. So add yours in and let's see what happens next month on the BOOcast.
Yes.
I'm not sure what date it is next month, but we will be reporting on your experience of...
Or everyone's experience.
Yeah, I'll be looking at them all as well.
I see Technomatics in the chat. I can't remember if you're going. Are you going this year, Simon? I don't know. But the whole Sonic team is going to be over there. And actually, no, not all of them, but a lot of them.
Most of them.
And we're going to be here working remotely.
Holding the fort.
So that'll be great. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope it's a great show. But yeah, what are the predictions?
I was going to share them in the next show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I've just got 3. Well, I'll share 3 now. So A Division says a new Electribe. Peter Coit predicts an Oxy Mark II and an Instruo standalone synth. That's very specific.
Scottish standalone synth. That'd be nice. Would that be the first Scottish standalone synth ever made? Just out of interest.
They're lagging behind Australia, surprisingly.
All right.
Not really. Andrew Brooks says an Electribe Pro would be great. I keep nagging Luke Korg about that. So let's see what they have in store.
So who knows what Korg have up their sleeves? I mean, they're always yes.
Add your predictions to the chat below, and we will see who was right next month.
Yeah, we'll see who was right. But I think that might do it for today.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Andrew K, we'll see you in a little while. All of the rest of you, we've got a gig coming up in...
Oh, yes. We've got a gig coming up in July.
In July.
So it's quite a way off.
It's not really coming up, but it's there.
It's...
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay, well...
But it's Crash and
It's going to be in Wingham near Canterbury.
Yeah.
And it's a Crash of Moons Club. It's an
Yeah.
all-dayer. We're going to be on in the evening inside the venue, and we can't wait. It's going to be like a little summer holiday for
But we'll
us.
tell you all about that sooner. So we're over there in the Kentish way. All oast houses and hop picking and what have you, and all that Kentish stuff.
You'll hear about it on our socials and our mailing list and everything.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, look, it's time to say goodnight. We love you.
Enjoy this video from the archives that was played behind us during a gig at the Green Doors store.
Which you're telling me apparently I made.
Well, you made, and then I added a few details to it.
Oh, you fixed it.
No, I didn't fix
Okay.
it. I just thought, oh.
Definition of cheating.
No, this is what we do. Okay, you make a video, and then I add bits, and then you add bits.
And
We
then-
take turns.
No. I make a video, then you fix it. That's how it
That's
works.
not how it works.
Yeah,
Sometimes I make
yeah.
a video and you fix it.
Everyone knows.
Do you remember Boa? Because I made that,
No,
and it
I don't
wasn't.
remember that.
It wasn't working.
Look, we've got some
Anyway.
bickering to do. I'll leave you to it. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you in, what is it, May? June.
June.
June. Okay. Take care, everyone. We love you. Go. Bye. Take care. Bye.